Whenever you're ready.
Okay.
And I will be back.
Oh, okay. Damn it, Jinx. I needed to torment you.
Torment him after dinner.
So I was like basically blacked out at the end of last session. Are we like driving somewhere now?
You guys are heading back to town. You dealt with the cult. I'll get into the recap since we're just gonna start. Well, there's freaking people here and actually paying attention. I'm like, somebody, Jinx.
Hey, family dinner. I know how those are.
Yeah, I know. But yes, time for session 8 of Elemental Odyssey. We are down a Celadon, aka Celestine, and a Darien, aka Fenless, because, well, the East Coast got fuck trained by a blizzard, it sounds like.
Fun.
I mean, twin Karina was saying there was trees uprooted and shit, by the way, where they live, so.
Holy fuck!
Like I said, I blame Lake Huron.
Yeah, let's go with that. They have reasonable excuse, and then a Darien appeared. What? Okay.
He might be on his phone.
Well, we're gonna find out. Maybe. But yes, you all had after dealing with the first wave of cultist goons involving Necromancer and weird minions of his, as well as a dwarf and a giant evil face, you reached the ruined altar of Castle Farnot, and found the leader of the cultists arguing with either some hired help or another band of adventurers. You're not sure, and you never really bothered to ask before they left. But following Celestine making use of some loot he acquired off those dudes who jumped you on the trip to Gilvain, he summarily axed the leader of the cultists if his spine would like an actual axe in it. And the cannon fodder cultists were quickly decimated. The leader tried to bolt, but right before he did so, our fearless kobold machinist Sneck went into extreme PTSD insane attack mode as a new figure appeared on the battlefield. Later identified by another someone who showed up once the fighting was over as a dragonborn named Joseph Faust, who, as you quickly discovered, could eat magic, and in fact, he did so demonstrated this by sucking the life out of 2 paladins that he had just apparently been carrying with him for, in case he needed a light snack, like they were granola bars. You also quickly realized that divine magic does not exactly agree with him, so it's kind of weird that he ate the paladins, but then you suppose if it's just eating people's like actual life essence, probably not as big a deal. Maybe. It's hard to say. Or I just wasn't paying attention. Anywho, after some clever praying shenanigans on Celestine's part, a tree promptly wrapped around Faust's neck and launched him presumably into low Kansaran orbit, because he went fucking far. But not before he managed to, unfortunately, crit and insta-kill one of the adventurers who was helping you, who turned out to be adventuring alongside his younger brother. Words were exchanged. You met a member of Dragonor you hadn't passed by before, by the name of Grim Balamor, who surmised the situation with Joseph Faust, and, well, as it turned out himself, they were both pirates. Or, well, they were both part of the same crew. You figure pirates because, well, Grim looked about like Jack Sparrow or Blackbeard. Take your pick. And there's a curse on the both of them due to, at some point in the past, old Joe Faust trying to be immortal. And, well, yeah. You also all heard gods telling you to straight up kill Faust, so there was that. And then once you got back to the bus, you found an eccentric, apparently impossibly powerful hobo who heckles Dragonroar waiting in your bus playing with the pupper you have alongside for the ride, Jet. He introduced himself as Vic, and then promptly fucked off back to Dragonroar across the continent, because he can do that, apparently. It's very weird. Also, Zakio is like 15 kinds of confused and upset because, god damn it, how many people are gonna fuck with me in this existence? So, yeah. And on your way back, you got a call, or well, Skara got a call from his, from the local branch of the Paladin Order. He's the Order of Fenris. That, hey, we got a lead. Bring your posse. We got some shit to talk about. And so you are currently on the road back to Belsatane. What's up? Oh, let me get music. We need music. Here we go. There we go.
So is this like a couple hours drive or like a few days?
It's a few hours. Like, it wasn't that far out of town.
Okay.
Hour and a half, maybe. Again, it's not a terribly long trip because, like, the ruins you were at were a fairly known landmark to some degree, and they're in a forest just outside of town. So again, not terribly long of a drive.
Gotcha. Well, I'm fine with just driving back to town.
Oh yeah, and one other thing you guys all had was you all looked up information on the Odyssey Forged and got a surmised list of the general capabilities of all of them.
Yeah, I think I vaguely remember that.
Yeah. But, like, you have all their names, you know roughly what all of them can do. And in your case in particular, Skara, you recall, upon reading it, that you remember the incident where the Ignition Talon was stolen. Because, well, you heard about that one.
Okay.
Because it was last seen in the possession of the Order of Fenris. And then, well, it has summarily been stolen, disappeared, or something. I forget exactly what I said. I'll have to rewatch episode 7.
I don't really remember, but I think you just said it was like jacked by somebody.
Probably just that. Let's go with that for now, until I remember for sure.
Gotcha. Some nice music.
Yeah, it is. Rolling for stuff. Okay. Yeah, you guys make it back to Gilvain without any issue. No surprise bandits or nothing.
Yay.
Although, you do inexplicably see, like, a harpy eagle-looking thing riding a unicycle.
What?
You don't even know it was going the other direction, and by the time you stopped, looked out the window, it was already gone.
Yeah, that happens in this. That happens around here.
Really?
Yes.
There's usually one or two circuses that travel around, pass by. That's probably one of their acts. Just he like looks in the direction it went off in. I don't even know. But yeah, that's about all that really happens on the way back to Gilvain. Yes, I do just have random non sequitur encounters for things you see.
It's fun.
It's my favorite list to roll on.
The non sequitur list.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like a pack of wolves attack. Because then I'm just gonna floor it.
Some wolves try to jump on your bus. You just hit the gas.
I would say, honestly, if that happens, Celestia would just be friends! Friends!
Celeste would try to assert dominance and become their leader. Let's be honest.
Yeah, that's probably true.
Friends!
Mm-hmm. But yeah, aside from that, you make it back to Gilvain entirely easily, and since I had to officially rescale the party bus so it's not absurd for driving on the streets, you can actually drive it over to where the Fenris order is stationed in the city.
Okay. Yep, so I'll go ahead and park it out front.
Oh, there's like a parking garage spot with like guest parking, so you can, because like they might have some heavier vehicles, and well, they don't want those getting stolen. They take security kind of seriously,
Sense.
as you do when you're effectively like religious cops.
Yeah.
So yeah, you pull into some guest parking. The crew gets out. You give Arvin passes like a dog treat to Jet, and is like, just mind the bus, and then leaves the doggo in there.
Okay.
And because I didn't really actually have to describe this place since you weren't here when Skara actually visited, you are greeted by by the same man who interviewed you. Oh damn it, where the fuck did I put his name? Captain Cyrus.
Okay. I'll salute him and report in and basically just tell him about the fucking Void Dragonborn dude.
You'll mention the cultist incident. Glad to hear it was at least dealt with, and I'll have some of the men be more alert for that. Also pass it along to the general. Thank you. Come with me. I trust these are your companions?
Yes.
Hello.
Well met. Cyrus Brimstone. Pleasure to meet you all. And for the record, he is an Ifrit, and he looks like he's got like kind of like the Samsonian locks, but they're like made of fire, kind of, for like hair.
Nice.
He leads you all to different briefing room than the last one. He spoke to you in Skara, but that again, that was also like his office. This is a more like actual proper serious business briefing room he's got you all in. Also because, well, it's bigger. Now then. He turns on a large projection screen in the back as you all like sort of sit down at the big meeting table. And on the screen is it's specifically like all the details on that finger quotes mission you had that led to your capture, Skara.
Yeah.
Just like, it's like a full Excel document just for that. So it's got like, requested, personnel sent, intended, descriptions and all that jazz. But again, all the things are blank aside from the personnel and the origin. And the branch origin for the order.
Okay. Those are still unknown.
Yeah, he's getting that. Now then, as I'm uncertain if most of you are aware, I will surmise the situation. Roughly, well, I'm sure most of you were abducted alongside the lieutenant, correct?
No, I wasn't.
Oh?
Yeah, I was actually resting on the beach and I was taken in a separate manner. I didn't wake up until I was actually in the facility.
I see. But some of you met with him shortly after your presumed exodus from your captivity.
Yes, everyone else met up in the same location.
Yeah. You just hear Celestine chime in. I let him out of the box they stuck him in. And he's like wagging his tail happily. He sounds very proud of himself. Thank you, sir. Well. As you can rather clearly see, the orders that led to his capture and the death of his compatriots are frustratingly blank. But thanks to some assistance from a local hacker who came rather recommended for his, at least for his honesty, by the name of calls himself Enigma. But we're able to determine the following details. And in a different text color, there's a name in the client section, and also a rough and a somewhat piecemeal description. It looks like bits of text are still that distorted garbly look. And there's also a what was it? Where the fuck did I put it down? Damn it! My notes. Why you do this to me? Okay, no. One sec. The requester is apparently listed as one Darius Filmond. And there appears to be a picture of him, but it looks half distorted, they caught a freeze frame of TV static. Or someone had put it through 3 different fucking Photoshop filters to make it look glitchy. And from what you all can kind of make out, looks like this sort of square-jawed anti-hero guy. Dark hair. It looks like he'd just punch you as opposed to saying hello or something like that. Not a very friendly dude. But again, the image is rather distorted. Sorry. And the description, what is pieced together and is shown, it sounds like a request for dealing with some suspicious activity in a city. The city is naturally one of the corrupted bits of information on the description. And after, a moment after it appears, Cyrus then turns back to all. This was the best he was able to piece together, as it seems. Whoever, intercepted this order in the system is rather skilled and was more than capable of covering their tracks.
Well, it's better to go off than nothing.
Indeed. The stranger, however, is the requester, and then the box that shows the Darius guy blows up to sort of fill most of the screen, and you would end up see one of those profiles on a video game website or whatever, our character profile on any personal whatever. You can do what it's supposed to be, but rather than showing the basic gist of this guy, it just says information unknown. It also seems that either this man does not exist, or he has made himself seem to not exist. He has no record. Oh, hey. You guys are getting a summation of what the Order of Offenders had figured out while you guys were smacking around cultists and a magic eater lizard.
Okay.
You got the name of the dude who made the request. You got a short, half garbled description of what the request was, and also a half distorted image of the man himself. And he's specifically going over the guy who made the request, the dude by the name of I already figured his last name. First name was Darius. Darius Philman, that was it. And the guy who's briefing you, Captain Cyrus Brimstone of the Order of Fendris, is going on that either Darius is an assumed name, or he is a person who has just fucking disappeared himself from the system.
Huh.
However, despite lack of information about the man himself, we were, however, able to a connection for you all to follow up on. A set of images appear in where the text box would be for this guy's criminal record profile, and there's sort of a confused noise out of Arvin, as one of the pictures that appears is his own.
Wait,
These
say that
individuals,
again? I'm sorry, say that again.
as he's giving you a lead, and some images appeared in place of the guy's basically blank criminal record profile, and one of the images appear was of Arvin.
As a known associate or something?
I'm getting to that, but
Oh, sorry.
it's just the pictures appeared and he was about to explain what they were when he asked me, wait, what? These individuals, one of whom seems to be among your ranks, and you see Arvin's picture sort of gray out compared to the other ones. Or, well, brighten compared to the other ones, so it's a full color. A man matching the physical descriptions of this Darius Philmond was seen leading a group from one of the mage associations, or was it one of the mage colleges? He pulls up his clipboard. Ah, yes, it was a local mage college. My mistake. Who are investigating some anomalous arcane readings at a ruin roughly 50 miles away from the city. Or he flips to the clipboard again. Honestly, you would think that we would hire someone who's better at writing things down. But just to show you on the world map, he basically indicates from here a spot roughly around one of these two tiles.
Okay.
Away from the city, because he pulls up on there's a screen on the table and he uses that to pinpoint the location given. Some ruins in this area. Roughly, he looks at his notes again. The day before your immediate disappearance, Lieutenant Skara. And Arvin, he puts his hands on his head. I don't remember this man. I'd never...
Well,
this
his
was
image
run by...
is half distorted.
So it is. But... Arvin, gets up and walks over to the big monitor with, the other pictures. That's the professor. He points at this sort of, a very, imagine if, Keanu Reeves was a dwarf. and that's, what this guy looks like about. He doesn't have, a full big bushy dwarven beard. It's more like a close,
What did I
goatee
miss?
must.
My
uh,
pizza came out of the oven.
Oh, what was the last thing you heard?
I don't remember.
Oh, well, basically it turns out the guy who bamboozled Skara into being abducted also bamboozled Arvin and his professor into going to search for something.
Oh boy.
And Arvin's now currently identifying his professor, who is this, if Keanu Reeves was a dwarf-looking guy. Like that image you've seen, like you saw the other night of Keanu Reeves stealing a paparazzi's camera running away. He has facial hair about like that, but he's built more like a dwarf.
Amazing.
Yeah, that's the professor. That's Professor Reaver. I remember him and him. He points to the two images to the right and below the professors, as his own is diagonal right from the diagonal bottom right from the professors. But the two in the bottom, no.
No.
I don't know who these two are. Sorry. Well. Unfortunately, one of them, the one on the very bottom right of the 6 images, has a red X appear on his image. This poor soul was confirmed among the dead in the Niflheim facility.
And who's it a picture of?
Hi, Jinx.
Hi.
Yeah, one of the pictures has been marked as this guy is definitively dead.
Right. I mean, who was it though? I mean, I know we identified some of them people, or was it one of the ones we didn't get like an ID card for or anything?
No, this was like someone who was kidnapped and
Oh,
abducted.
this was part of the abduction list.
This was one of the people who was abducted. He was among the dead. It was the half orc you fought in like the two big guys in the final room. It was one of them.
Oh. Okay.
Like, he's confirmed that. The other guy is a human-looking dude. Kinda... Or at least human-looking. It's hard to tell because his picture is, like, sort of grayed out because they don't have... Or at least it is at the moment. But this other man, and the image lights up, and you see this guy is probably half and half something else. As his skin, like... in places seems to have like a green tint, like not a sickly green, but more like an elementally attuned green.
Huh.
This man, however, we rapidly discovered the name he had given was preposterously false, as he claimed to be Marcus Ragnar, who, and the image next to it, an image of actually Marcus from Dragonor appears. Well, that's a very different person, as you can clearly see.
And I thought no one ever got a picture of Marcus. Oh no, wait, that's just the newspapers can't seem to do it.
Well, yeah, no, like mercs keep in touch with like the Paladors. Like they could easily have just met Marcus before. He is a merc, and they could have hired him. You never know.
True. I was just trying to make a joke about someone actually has his photo, and it's not a newspaper.
Yeah.
The newspapers never get his nose right.
Nope. But so we're still trying to discern who this man is. And if anything is discerned, we'll be certain to pass the information along, if only to lead to his capture, as either he's involved or he's a victim. It is very difficult to say at this moment. Arvin's still looking at the pictures. What about the other... Have you heard anything about the professor or the other two? Cyrus shakes his head. No. They've been missing for, at this point, longer than... He pauses, looks at his thing. The time the lieutenant was reported missing, and till now, they've been gone for about as long. Okay. But their last known location, or at least last known destination, was, as I'm sure you are aware, the ruins. They were more recently discovered and were, to some of the scientific community's bewilderment, marked with, upon the threshold to the entrance, the sigils of 3 of the goddesses.
Oh?
Yes, the ruins bore the mark of Saraya, Vernai, and Dulcea. And, well, all the photos on the big screen disappear and are instead replaced with a what you assume to be a satellite view of the area. It's a pretty decently sized ruin, because like there's also a bit of like an outline overlay, because it seems to be half covered in like part of a forest. So like they had to, outline what the whole detail through it is, simply for your own benefit. Given the sheer size of them, it's that these ruins have gone apparently unknown for as long as they have is rather peculiar. As until, well, recent discovery in the anomalous magical readings, there's never been any report of a ruin of such potential significance in this location.
And was this location of these ruins where you indicated before, or was what you indicated before en route to that ruin? I don't remember.
Oh, the
location you were pointing out earlier.
Oh, on the map?
Yeah.
Down here? Yeah, that's where this ruin is.
Okay.
That's where Arvin was heading before he got kidnapped.
Okay.
And it seems that it's sort of tying back into why he was abducted, or given the Spectrum Bracer and then teleported around like a fucking Patsy Pack mule.
Bitch.
Yeah.
I have this door.
So, it would seem your most logical course of action next would be to investigate these ruins.
Indeed.
As well, one of your traveling companions seems to have had a connection to the place, and it seems to be tied to why you were all abducted, or at least in a means to be taken to that Niflheim facility. The area shouldn't be difficult to find. The report of the anomalous magical reading came in roughly the same time that you all were, I believe. He looks at his clipboard of notes again. Yes, it was right at roughly the timestamp given by Sage Dynamics for when you all entered the Niflheim facility. And upon its discovery, the scholars of Saraya reached out to us to assist in securing the ruins. No one has gone in or out, but there are paladins of both Fendris and Saraya present to maintain the borders, and in case anything tries to come in or something terrible tries to come out. In this particular instance, we would like you all to be the first ones in to investigate.
Sounds like a plan.
Indeed, but Arvin chimes up. What is the anomalous magic reading you were detecting. The images changed to a similar, like, Geiger counter looking thing, like radiological alarm sort of shit.
Yeah.
That's similar to what you saw when you guys were just given the rundown of the Niflheim facility, apparently giving off a giant fucking ice mana reading. It's a strange mingling of the elements that typically doesn't occur naturally, at least not in these quantities. It's, as is fitting for the three involved, a strange meeting of several different types of mana, chief among them being darkness, water, nature, and metal. The fact that they're mingling in a non-hostile way, and in fact almost natural-seeming manner, is quite peculiar. It's, well, if you'll indulge a strange theory of mine, it's almost as if the ruins wanted to be found now.
Well, I suppose we'll have to oblige.
So it would seem.
Indeed.
Hold any number of clues.
And remind me, did they explain why Arvin was going there? Just to discover what kind of importance it might have had?
Arvin, he gave it basically his professor, he identified the guy as Professor Reaver, was going to investigate, because it's a curious, because like the guy said, it's a very strange mix of different types of elemental mana. And, that's something like the scientific community wants to look into, and, well, he was one of the people who, he was like to be he was the one who drew the short straw to go check it out, basically.
Okay.
And, so, like, Arvin remembers heading to there, but nothing after that before he woke up in the cave with the bracer on his wrist. That was the story he gave you.
And he doesn't really remember what he discovered there at all? Besides the bracer, maybe?
Well, aside from the fact that apparently going there got him the bracer, and got someone else taken to the Niflheim facility and turned into a, giant ice golem, he has no idea. Like, he remembers leaving Gilvain to head there, and then it's just blank until until he woke up in the cave and then headed for your guys' crashed airship.
Okay.
And he's very frustrated by that.
1 sec.
As
Okay.
he should be.
And to assist with this, you see him reach into like his coat and pull out a identification card and hand it to Skara. Show the guards at the edge of the ruins this, and they will absolutely let you in.
Understood.
Well, dismissed, and I wish you a safe journey. You have a rather curious situation carried upon your shoulders.
Alright. Well, hopefully we'll figure something out.
Mm-hmm. It's at this point you hear Fenless pipe up. If I may, the anomalous reading, was it the man identified by one of the Dreamer Courts of Cavalli? Cyrus pauses, looks at his notes again. Yes, it was. The Dreaming Court of Winter. Fenless, thank you.
significance does that have, if I may ask?
Are you asking this as you guys are leaving?
Yeah, either to either him or Fenless. Since
Well,
he asked
Fenless is the
about-
one who asks, so Fenless
Yeah.
knows.
Yeah, I'd probably be
So it's
asking
fair- so,
mainly
like-
Fenless.
That is the court to which I belong.
Wait, what?
Fenless asked the dude who was telling you about the strange magic reading who identified it, and the guy replied, it was the Dreaming Court of Winter from Cavalli,
Ah,
which Fenless has just admitted is the druidic court he belongs to.
mm.
Interesting. That your court would have been the ones to identify it.
Indeed. Well, not really.
And why not really, if you don't mind me asking? Forgive me, I'm not overly familiar with druidic courts.
Well, ours is some odd ones. As well, most others refer to them to their loose organizations as circles as opposed to courts. But well, it would seem the founding Council of Seasons for it was feeling a bit more dramatic. He says, like a little flourish of like waving his fingers through the air.
So your druidic, air quote unquote, court got a few eccentrics.
Well, the founders were. There's a bit more. They've become a bit more. He like sort of makes this weird face kind of for a second. It's more like a collection of stuck-up nobles with plant magic at this point.
Oh, goody nobles.
Well, there's no. He pauses. As far as I know, no actual nobility among our ranks, but. Well, Courtmaster Virian certainly knows how to act like he has the pedigree.
Oh joy.
But anomalous readings such as that were what I was investigating before I was abducted. But he shakes his head and like sort of rubs his temple. I can't remember where it was. It was still in Cavalli, but the memory doesn't want to come to me if it's even there.
Maybe we should contact this court of yours in some way and see if that maybe jogs your memory.
You hear him laugh. I doubt it. If you think that eccentric mages have eclectic ways of taking notes, the court will quite literally drive you mad.
Well, I'd rather not get driven mad, so.
I've insisted we take better notes, but no. Somehow it's always the odd one who ends up as the record keeper. Or maybe the position makes them odd. Wouldn't surprise me. Yeah, you guys just heading back to your bus to maybe hit the road to head towards that ruin?
Yeah, I also while we're going there, I'm going to shoot off a text to Auntie River, seeing what she knows about mana vampires and how they can form, because it's that Faust guy.
Should we perhaps rest in the city for the night before we head out, or are we in like a rush?
What time is it? Okay.
It's by the time you guys were done with everything there and got back, it's around 6:37.
I'd say let's get dinner and then head out in the morning, yeah.
we might as well rest.
Yeah. See if you guys want to shop for anything, because you guys did get quite a lot of gold.
And quite a lot of XP, apparently.
Yeah, no, like, I'm looking at Faust's stats.
Celestine.
I'm looking at Faust's stats. Fucking hell.
I helped with the praying.
Yeah,
I'm
you
guessing this
did.
was one of those situations where if Celestine hadn't done that, we probably all could have very easily been killed.
Maybe. He's like, there was a way to finger quotes beat him, but well, I can't really say what it was.
I actually have not updated any of my stuff. What?
We got
Where are we?
18k EXP.
You got 18k EXP.
Did we get a lot of gold from that? Because I thought we just got 30 gold.
Well, from that that whole basic cultist side quest you got sort of thrust upon you when they attacked you on the trip over, you guys got like a shit ton of gold effectively. Like I think between the whole thing, you guys got like almost 1,000.
Okay.
1,000 each, or?
Like in total, over from the attack at the boat to the actual showdown at the ruins.
Gotcha.
So you guys should have your most up-to-date gold, because, you know.
I still have base 1,000, so I have no clue.
I'm actually gonna Google search that Faust guy too, and magical vampirism or whatever he was doing. Try and Google
Well, you were
search
given
it.
a thing to search for by Grimm. He straight up told you the Isles of the Umbra Belt
Oh,
to
yeah,
search
that's right,
for.
yeah.
He told you what to
Yeah,
search
I'm
for when you asked about his curse.
Yeah, I'm gonna search that.
At a river, you basically get it. She's never heard of anything like that, and if that's such a thing, be very, very careful, because that sounds legitimately horrifying to her. And she's like, I'm not telling anyone you told me this, because if I did, everyone you know would have a heart attack.
Okay.
But roll investigation for the Isles of the Umbra Belt.
Investigation, there it is. Don't fuck me, Gil.
Hey!
Well, you can actually see the Isles of the Umbra Belt on the world map. They are these 4 islands over here.
Okay.
And supposedly on the smallest of them, so this little nubbin one here.
Okay, the dark green one.
Yeah, the very dark green one. Supposedly on the smallest, there was... The story goes that a famous pirate was sent there to retrieve an artifact of a god in exchange for his freedom, and as long as he swore off his, pillaging ways when he was done, with this job, because it's either do this or get hanged. So he's like, what was that, Skara? Oh, what was that, Lodo?
I said so many different choices.
I know, right? But supposedly on the island, a member of the crew betrayed everyone else in some bid for power, and by all accounts, the betrayer, the captain, and all the crew died. And there's just a wreck of the ship that they took to the island, just sitting on the shores.
And obviously I can infer from that Faust was the traitor, Grimm was the captain. The ghosts obviously were the crew that I saw.
Yeah, but there's no names. It's just a pirate captain, a traitor, and then the crew.
Right, I'm saying that's just what I can infer.
Yeah, in inferring, it's like the traitor was Faust, the captain of that crew was Grimm, and, well, he did straight up say that the Faust's attempted immortality, fucked up. Or something to that effect, as I recall. Yeah. That's what he said.
He told me he bungled his ritual or whatever he was doing. And
yeah, so you, from apparently meeting 2 living legends, know that the captain and the trader both survived, and the wrecked ship probably isn't actually there, or if it is, it's some other ship. Because, well, that's a long way to fucking swim if their ship was fucked.
Yeah. Can I find anything on this curse at all with that roll, or?
No.
No? Okay.
You were looking for the Isles of the Umber Belt, not any sort of curses that cause mana vampirism.
Ah. Okay.
Which, by the way, you annihilated the DC of, because the DC of it was 12. But if you want to research mana vampire specifically, roll investigation again.
Yeah. Let's see if I can figure out what this curse is.
I'll also look
Knowing
for
the information of the Umber Belt as well as Grim and Faust.
I don't think I found much.
You both would have had advantage since you know such a thing is real, so you're like, that's probably bullshit, kind of. Padma doesn't really, get anything. And, well, neither do you, Zakio, because, like, all you can find is, like, this is the thing that, like, just happens in fairy tales. There is no, like, actual recorded or even any known instances of, like, even in most, like, this isn't, like, a thing that was in, like, mythologies that someone became a soul-eating abomination. Like, this is all, like, exclusively, like, Hollywood fiction, children's stories. Like, nothing that definitively proves that such a thing is real. So, you're both willing to infer that Faust might be the only one of these things that exists.
Thank God.
And he has an aversion for divine magic, which means presently both Celestine and Skara have a fairy type advantage over his dragon type ass.
Yeah. Right.
But aside from, stopping by, like, I don't know, freaking IHOP or something for dinner. Anything else you guys want to do in this today before you leave? Because you also have, like, a lot of items that none of you are probably ever going to use. You can try to pawn off on someone.
That's true.
Yeah, let's pawn off.
So are we gonna be arrested if we leave? Because if not, I'd like to stay and get arrested.
I almost thought you said get arrested, Lodo, not gonna lie.
Yeah.
Yes.
No, it sounds like you guys are going to stay in the city for the night and then head out in the morning.
Okay. Yeah.
So you'll have all your shit back for anything that happens.
Gotcha.
Yeah, the only thing I'm gonna do before I go to bed is just in my mind talk to both Orzal and Alias, see if they know anything about it. More than I do the Faust's curse or whatever specifically.
You, like, start the thought, Orzal, I don't know shit, man. And you don't even know if Alias heard you. You hear nothing whenever you, like, try to reach out to him.
Okay. Figured I'd just put the message out there, see if...
But, like, it is only, like, about 7 o'clock for you guys. Like, you do have a decent amount of time where you can still do something before you go to bed.
Right. I was just saying that's the last thing I'm gonna do.
Okay.
I guess I'll go try to see what I can do with these dragon parts I've been hauling around.
Oh, yeah, because you guys have, collectively, like...
Yes.
All the claws of a steel dragon, 2 of its horns, and like a total of 20 square foot of its hide.
Yeah.
Let's see if I can...
And it's metal
Try
dragon
going to
parts too, so it should be useful for me.
Yeah,
Oh,
try
yeah.
I was gonna
try
say,
going
let's
to
see
the
if
boat
we
dock.
can...
Try going to the boat docks. They love that shit for the bigger battleships.
I was gonna say, maybe can we make some better armor or weapons out of that stuff for ourselves if we find a blacksmith or something?
The commission fees would be up the ass.
Arvin's like, well, not really. I have heard of someone who set up shop recently.
Well, we could at least check it out and maybe get a price.
Yeah, he's supposedly a bit eccentric, but quality work. Or at least that's what Dad said.
Yeah, we can go check it out at the very least.
Yeah. If nothing else, we confirm that we're gonna pay through the nose for it. We can always pawn the shit off.
Yeah. But to give you all effectively advantage while you look for the place, the name of it that Arvin gives you is the Crimson Hammer Forge.
Alrighty, and then we roll.
Roll perception to see if you spot it as you go through the city, or... Oh, no one else needs to roll. Like,
he knows exactly where it is.
corner of her eye as he says this, she's like, there! Stops, like, the bus, like, sort of stops as you're, like, already in, like, a spot, and you have to go around the block again to get a parking spot. Because, like, you guys were already about to, like, pull out from the stoplight. And there was the place in question. And after parking the party bus,
That was a nat 20.
yeah, that's what the green border means.
Yep.
Yeah, after you get everything set up, Celestine and Fenless stay on the bus. Celestine, is having doggo time with Jet, doing doggo things.
Yay.
Don't wreck the bus.
Okay.
They might be running around, honestly.
That's why I said don't wreck the bus.
Outside the bus.
Celestine is a smart doge. Give him credit.
Oh, I do give him credit, but he's also very excitable.
This is also true.
It's like this like whole building is like in like sort of a singular. It's like right next to the $20 for like $5 for like 3 hours parking spot. It's surprisingly big for what should just be a forge. But it's like, oh, well, okay. And when you go inside, you realize why. He has a pretty big forging setup and also has like some screens in the back. And as you enter, you hear this freaking voice. Patrick! Did your mother do gymnastics while pregnant? Those are not pets! They are carnivorous as the guy. You see this guy in this like kind of somewhat gaudy, a bit excessively fancy blacksmith attire with like this cool, like high-tech welding visor on, and he's like talking to this dude who looks basically take Shaggy from Scooby-Doo and make him an elf. He's wearing like in like about Shaggy's colors too, just like a basic cliched blacksmith attire, has like an old welding mask on his head. He's holding something in his hands. You can't see it because his back's to you. And the dude in the front says, as far as I know, he grabs the other dude by the face, shoves him through a door, and you hear this weird like noise as something jumps out of the other guy's hands. Hello, how may I Hulk serve?
Hi.
Did he say how may Hulk serve?
Hawk.
Hawk. Yes.
Hawk.
We were wondering if we could have something made. We have some materials we got from a steel dragon, was it? Yes.
Metal dragon, yeah.
Metal dragon.
Oh, well, you have come to the right forge. Oh, damn it, I forgot his name. Part of it. Fuck. What was his first name?
Hawk.
Fuck. I gotta look at my notes. What was it?
Did I recognize that cry of that animal or whatever, or was that the shaggy looking motherfucker that did that?
You'll find out in a second.
Okay.
I'm in a second.
Okay.
Or was it? Ah, well, you've come to the right forge. Calvin Hawk, at your service.
A pleasure.
And that's Hawk, Hawke.
Okay.
No wonder Uncle Aiden likes this place.
A apologize for the displays you're coming in. My apprentice Patrick is well. He like sort of looks over at like this like some weapons are on the rack. He is definitively not the sharpest blade in my store.
That's so. What is that, if you may ask?
He's an idiot.
Well, I meant specifically, how is he an idiot? You were yelling about him about something rather specific.
He starts to raise his voice. You hear that noise again. He looks down. Oh, it's still here. Give Hawk a moment. He like leans down. Hey, come here. You hear the Mert again. Come on, please. Patrick, get back out here! The door the dude was shoved through like opens. You see him like his like welding mask is like disheveled. Now it's like sideways on his head. Okay. And you see him reach down and pick up. As he stands up, he's holding a small griffin.
Aww.
Now, please, take to shelter. Get somewhere more suited for such a creature.
Aww.
He like looks at you. Is Padma actually cooing?
Yes.
He looks at you. He looks at the griffin, then back at you, then back at the griffin, back at you. Small smile. Are you perhaps interested?
Well, my father does take care of birds in rehab, so if nothing else, I can ask him where a good place for it would be.
Well, problem solved. Give it to her.
Yee!
And like the Patrick guy looks kind of sad, and he just sort of offers you this little like blue jay griffin.
Aww, cutie. Scritch.
He like chirps and just sits himself on your shoulder. He's not that big.
Aww, more scritches.
Padma has a friend.
Alright, anyway, back to business.
No.
This
And
is
yes,
what we have.
yes, indeed. He shoves Patrick back in the other room, closes the door. You hear like some crashing.
Oh dear, hope he's okay. But anyway,
He's nothing if not sturdy.
this is what we have to work with, and I give him a list of what we have for parts. What can you possibly do for us?
Do you perhaps have these materials on hand? Would like to inspect, see quality.
I assume we shove them in Fenless's bag of holding.
Yes, we do have them on.
Yeah, you probably borrowed the bag of holding to carry the shit around because otherwise it's too fucking heavy. Which,
Yeah.
between those two pieces of metal dragon hide, was almost at capacity from them because they're pretty fucking heavy.
Yes, we do have them on hand. And I
Assume
assume
you-
Yeah.
You pop it out. There's a as the back and chest hides of that metal dragon land on the incredibly sturdy metal counter, and he's like, ooh. And rather easily, he then lifts up one of the pieces of metal dragon hide, like by himself, no issue. Like this was nothing to him.
Oh my.
He's burly. He's like turning over this like 10-foot piece about. It's like it's slightly awkward.
I'm gonna lay out the horns and claws also for him to look at.
I see. Well, that is in good condition. Appears to be from a almost a young adult. I suppose its former owner was causing trouble, and that's why you have this.
Yeah.
Indeed.
Well, shame on him for being a naughty boy.
His loss is our gain.
And then some. Oh. What exactly what you're hoping to have made from these things? He sets down like he was lifting the chest piece, and now he's like inspecting the horns and claws.
Well, I can't speak for the others, but me personally, I'm looking to maybe, as I gesture over my armor that I'm wearing, maybe get some sort of improvement over what I currently have for armor.
Come closer. He pulls on like this monocle thing, and like it seems like magnifies. He like twists and he looks at you. Looking for something roughly similar shape and weight?
Yes.
Hook can do this. Especially with he taps on the one of the sets of scales, especially with these. Quite easy to turn steel dragon hide into a proper breastplate. Though, yours is enchanted. Did you want a similar enchantment as well?
I don't. Yes, if at all possible.
If at all possible. You make a funny joke.
I mean, if
You
Uncle
Forgive
Aiden
me,
knows
I've never been here before.
He actually reaches over and pats you on the head. You make funny joke implying impossible. Hog like you.
I didn't mean to imply the impossible. God damn it! No, I'm kidding.
Well, I mean,
It's
Uncle
just I've
Aiden-
never been here before, so I don't know what you're capable of.
well, Uncle,
Fair assessment.
if Uncle Aiden's been here before, he probably has some sort of magical aptitude, if not a lot of magical aptitude.
Okay, Snack. I will take care of things for you then.
Take care, Snick.
Well, Nick.
Later. Alright. We'll just say Snack was waiting on the bus as well then.
And by enchantment, you meant the +1 on my armor, didn't you? I
Yeah.
forgot about that.
Yeah. Because you had like 2 items of plus armor, so I'm like,
Right.
I'll let you carry over with the +1 set of armor. Because that's only fair considering you're effectively losing out on 2 items. Quite easy. Will be very protective. Won't even take all of material either. It'll only take. He pulls on like a glove on one hand, and a little arcane rune goes on the back as he like draws a line on the surface of one of the pieces of metal dragon scales, and he's like, would only take this much material. It definitively does not take all of it. It only takes like about 2/3.
Well, alright. How much would something like this cost, and how much time would it perhaps take?
No more than a week. Actually, he's like looking at it. You see him like doing like mental math. Not even more than 4 days.
It's pretty good.
Indeed.
That's pretty good.
Though should be known, he taps the scales. These ones, unless you are quite proficient in the heavier sorts of armors, or perhaps want a blade made of it, well, you're a bit shit out of luck.
Well, I was wondering, I hold up the blade scarf, if it would be possible to either reinforce this or swap out the blades with blades made from the steel in that.
Huh. Would be possible to, well, sharpen such a thing. May I see?
Sure.
So, question, DM. He's basically saying I would have to have, even if I did do a breastplate, which I believe is medium armor.
No, that's for no.
Or-
You're using the scales from the chest of that dragon, which are lighter, and that can be used to make a breastplate. The scales that were off the back of this thing are way heavier, and like are exclusively heavy armor and weapons.
Okay.
The chest scales, 2/3 of them can be used to make your armor.
Okay. Just want to make sure I was clear on my understanding. Okay.
With which metal?
It's. I do prefer it being light and airy to move because, well.
Well, such is the design of such a thing.
Yes.
Well made. Would be easy prospect to use. Actually, he looks over, picks up the 2 metal dragon horns, turns them in. Could make enhance with these.
I'll defer to your judgment and go with those then.
Hmm.
You know more in this field than I do.
You are correct in that assumption. All right, you see him mark something on your scarf and set it beside the horns on his table. That will be done overnight. Pick up in morning.
Okay.
And
Simple
mine's gonna
task.
take 4 days.
At most 4 days.
At most. How much will this... You said at most about 4 days. How much would it cost to have this armor made?
Well, want to see what entire order is before determining price. I assume there's more you want than simply a sharpened scarf and some armor.
I see.
You have a rather large amount of material.
I see. Very well then.
If we can't figure anything else out, we can give you the. We can sell the remainder to you for 50-50 on the bill.
Is there anything like Celestine might like, or maybe Snake? I don't know.
I don't know either.
Thinking about the only thing Celestine would have asked would be to make a necklace out of some of the claws.
Yeah, that's what
Because
I was thinking.
he did collect some of them for himself.
Yeah. Like, I mean, I've already got +1 armor, so I figured I don't really know what I could ask for with this sort of thing. Maybe like a helmet or a necklace or something.
Well, like the claws, that would be like claws horns. That's for improving or making like smaller weapons or little embellishments. The chest hide, you could make like medium. It's like medium armor or a shield out of, and there is like enough material left to theoretically make a shield.
Okay.
You
And then
could
the stuff-
potentially have a better shield or better armor.
Yeah, because like the scales from the back of the dragon could be used to make better heavy armor. Because what kind of armor do you have?
Me? I've just got +1 full plate.
Oh,
It's like the best armor I can have right now.
eh.
That I know of. I don't really know.
Are you gonna ask him in character if like he could make something better than what you have out of the heavier scales?
Yeah, sure. I'll ask if he can enhance my armor or make something better.
He comes around from behind his counter, has that monocle out again. He's like inspecting your armor carefully, almost like he's taking notes of it. Would you want something of similar make?
Yeah, that'd be great if you could. I'm pretty accustomed to this sort of armor.
See.
That's something not-
How could make armor for you from the heavy scales?
Something that
Would
perhaps
be-
isn't quite as noisy.
Well, let's be honest.
Inferring that
Stealth.
can we get rid of his stealth disadvantage?
He already doesn't have a stealth
I
disadvantage.
thought full plate had that.
He has a feat that negates that on heavy armor.
Oh, never mind then.
Yeah.
I will redact that statement.
Yeah, no, he has a
didn't
variant of the
know.
heavy armor master feat.
He just has bad stealth rolls.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm just not stealthy as a person.
yeah,
No, that's
his
fine.
dex is
I
just bad.
thought- I didn't realize you had that feat. Never mind then.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it would most likely only be marginal improvement, but improvement nonetheless.
Okay.
Something's better than nothing.
Indeed, especially... You actually see him, like, walk over to, In fact, you give Hawk idea. You see him walk over to a couple suits of, like, another suit of, like, full plate, and then a, similarly sized breastplate. In fact, if simply wish to enhance, could use scales to improve these two, and take considerably less time to make your request.
That works for me.
Less time, less materials needed, same level of protection.
Obviously, same improvements, if there are any to be had.
Of course!
I'd be okay with that.
Also, for the record, the guy you're talking to is he's built like a male Rogadin, but he's a tiefling.
Amazing.
That explains why he can, without effort, lift a giant plate of fucking dragon armor.
Yeah. Yes, Hawk could do this very easily. You see him with that glove, he's like marking some segments on both the breastplate and then on the plate armor. Yes. Improving the scarf will take, well, hardly any time. Come pick up in morning.
All right.
Trifling difficult. The steel scaled armor would take, at the pace I am envisioning in my mind's eye, at most 2 days.
Okay.
And you would still be left with, he goes back over and he rubs the first mark he made on the lighter, on the chest scales, on the stomach scales away, and then he marks off about a third of it, and then does about, it's closer to about another third off of the heavier scales. Or wait, no, he erases that, closer to half with the heavy scales.
Just as an idea to help out with payment, I'm assuming none of us really wanted any of those weapons we picked up, right? So we could offer those to him to split the cost.
Yeah, because they were all basic bitch weapons, right? Yeah.
Some of them were, some of them weren't.
They didn't really fit most of us in our combat styles, I think.
Yeah. The only thing that might would have been some of the daggers. And that's only really if Padma wanted them.
Not really.
Yeah.
I think I took the scimitars though.
You had scimitars, but they're a two-handed weapon, which means they wouldn't work with your dueling fighting style.
Okay, so I won't bother adding them into my inventory then.
See, I'll produce those and give them to Hawk so that he can, I don't know, take a
Also,
look
you
at.
didn't you want to do something with those bracelets you pulled off of Zangief?
Oh yeah, I'll pull those out too.
What did you want with these done with these, young lady?
Could they be slimmed down a bit? Because I would actually like to turn them into anklets in case someone gets close and I have to kick.
Hawk's idea you may like. Give to me. I will put them with your scarf.
All right.
Hawk knows many things. Then he's now looking at the weapons, because I assume you set out the big like hunting knife and then the three things you pulled off the hat asshole and then the champ lamp.
Yeah. Did we get any of the armor from the big metal dude too?
No.
No, we did not.
We gave the body to the enslaved the siege dragon.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Because and I'll say this, since like it's a bit late for you to have found out now, if you tried to pull it off, like he would have like just started coating your boat in the black ooze that made up his body.
Oh, fun.
And that would have been like any number of horrible things could have happened, but I can't say what.
Oh no, not the angry mango juice.
Angry mango, no bad touch sauce. Not quite that bad, but yeah.
I've heard your fate D&D sessions.
I love talking about the angry mango no bad touch sauce. But he's now inspecting weapons. He's like testing them, just like little testing swings to like see the weight for himself. You see him rather expertly spin the champ lamp staff around himself a few times. Hawk likes this one. Hawk will keep. He sets it aside from like all the other stuff. Hawk definitively buy that one off of you. Hawk like. He tests the scimitars, the little hammer, the crystalline dagger. These are strange. He looks at them with his monocle. Curious enchantment. Where did you find these?
Some bad guys decided to try and give us trouble. Turns out they didn't need them anymore.
Well, their loss. Among other things, I assume.
Yeah.
These. Very peculiar enchantment I have never seen before.
What is he holding? Or referring to?
He's referring to the 3 weapons he pulled off Hat Guy.
Ah, that enchantment.
Yeah, the ones that he slashed and then like combined or something like that.
Yeah, he cut someone with the blue dagger and then combined the 3 weapons into some weird Triforce looking thing.
They tried to Falcon punch us.
Yeah. Huck will... no, computer, don't start with me right now. Huck will also buy... What the... Oh, god damn it.
What?
It kicked me out of the Roll20.
Yeah, booted him from Roll20.
Motherfucker. I'm going back in.
Don't be a dick, computer.
Yeah, I think I might have accidentally bumped a button on my mouse because it has those forward back buttons. I might have accidentally hit the back one when I was waking it up because it went to black screen. Oh man, I gotta reopen all the fucking character sheets now too. Fuck.
Technical difficulties.
Anywho. This enchantment is... He takes his monocle away. You see him, like, then open something underneath it, pull something open on the back of his counter, into smelting with them. Oh, they offend me. And despite the fact it looks like a wooden hammer, he just shoves it in there, and you hear, like, smelting noises, and then the brass daggers, and then the brass scimitars, and then the crystalline dagger, and just into smelter. Offends. And just slams it shut.
How did those offend you? Was it the enchantment that offended you somehow?
It's so wildly impractical. Why use one weapon, then combine 3 into one to do more damage? Who thought was good idea? It's terrible. It's so impractical.
The laughter is out of character.
I would agree.
And after a moment, he pops out, and then you see him pull out what looks like the raw materials that made up the various things. Like there's now some like ingots of brass, some chunks of wood, bits of metal, a crystal. Much better. And then like 3 weird some arcane looking orbs. Much better. Can work with these. Oh. Except this one. He picks up one of the orbs and like, you big man, move aside. And he's like gesturing to you, Skara. He throws it past you. You hear it ping, 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 krung, into a trash can.
I applaud the shot.
He crit on that. Such a terrible...
I still can't think of what anyone else might have wanted out of those of us not here.
Unless might have
well, to help you out, you all actually got like a request list. And it was exclusively just Celestian, I want a necklace from the claws.
here I would have thought
that's
Medalist
it.
might have wanted a scythe upgrade.
Nah, he's got some other shit going on with that. Because to be fair, Fenlis's scythe looks like the blade of it looks like it's made of sharpened crystal.
Okay.
Well, unless you guys want anything else, I think that's about it.
No, that's all I can think of.
Arvin chimes in at this point. And he takes his it's a very thin sword. It looks kind of like the Red Mage AF sword, the AF rapier. It's like that, but it's a little more sensibly sized. Perhaps something like this, but made of. He taps on the heavy dragon scales. Maybe. Hawk takes the sword from him. Yes, Hawk can do this. Will be done by morning as well. Simple enough task. He marks off another small segment of the heavy scales. Quite sturdy. Did you want perhaps enchantment upon it? And in fact, he looks at Padma. Same request. Did you perhaps want enchantment upon yours?
Sure.
What sort? Simple improvements? Elemental affinities?
Simple improvements.
This can be done. He looks at Arvin. Same. Unless you have something that perhaps conducive to spellcasting?
Ooh.
I know enchantment that will assist with this. Yes. Will not cost much more. It's similar enough. And in fact, were you planning to sell Hawk what you do not use?
More or less, yes.
I think
Or
Oh.
that is to help with the cost, because I assume these services won't be cheap.
You would be correct, but given the value of the materials you give, you come out at even.
Ooh.
Fantastic.
Just by enough of a hair. It's a very fine balance, although, Hawk, be honest, Hawk give you a better end of deal because he puts his hand on the heavy scales. I've always wanted to work with scales such as these. Be a challenge worthy of my skills. He's still holding Arvin's sword, by the way. Did you want this back, or did you want me to simply improve it? No, replacement or improvement, whatever more feasible and sensible. He then promptly, blindly over shoulder, throws Arvin's sword into a barrel. Make you a new one. Balance was terrible, as I'm sure you must have noticed if you used to any reasonable extent. I did, but I made do. Very well. Yes. But, you see him then go over to his little cash register. Yes! And out pops a little, it looks like a credit card, kind of, or like a gift card. Pops it out and hands it to Padma. For your order, come back and, it will, inform you to make sure your order is properly registered and everything.
Alright, thank you.
Payment all accepted, and Nunas va! Good evening to you all.
Good evening.
Good evening to you as well.
No wonder Uncle Aiden likes him.
Arvin, you hear back Nunas va as he leaves.
What is Luna's Ball?
It's a modern infernal means good evening. Or, well, good night.
What language did he say that was?
Infernal.
Infernal. Okay, I don't know that language. Okay.
Yeah,
Just
Arvin.
double checking my languages here.
I know Arvin does because he's a tiefling. And that's just a minor distinction I have. There's technically modern and old infernal in this setting. Lunas va is part of the more modern infernal. And it sounds like it's basically like Latin. sounding,
I see.
whereas Old Infernal's like, "Gash, gash, gablast, ah," like the dark speech of Sauron sounding shit.
I was gonna say probably like the orcs of Lord of the Rings sounding shit.
Yeah, it's like it's really rough.
Impression of them.
It's really rough. Modern Infernal mainly is often spoken by Volsung, and in fact, the accent on Mr. Hawk was very reminiscent of Volsung, or of the Volsung accent that's stereotyped onto them sometimes.
Volsung was what again?
Russia.
Space Russia.
Oh, Space Russia.
It's also where that manual you're studying came from.
Ah. Well, Lunasval
Lunas-
to you.
Yeah, it's LUNAS-VA.
Ah, okay. I know one word in Infernal. Or
Well,
one phrase, rather.
It's a phrase.
One phrase in Infernal.
And to think you never learn, it's like, and you learn something new every day.
Mm-hmm.
Which you'd think would be easy, considering I know so many different languages.
Eh.
I know
But yeah, also for the
6.
record, I assume you also like got the necklace made for
Yeah.
Celestian as well, which can be picked up in the morning. Because you just like you handed like the note, because like Celestian gave like this rather sort of detailed description of what he wanted on like the pendant, and you just handed that to the description for the necklace, and the Hawk was, "Oh, absolutely, Hawk can make this, no extra charge. You have already given me more than enough." Oh. And as you're leaving, you hear him say, "Patrick, Hawk have new favorite customers."
And also, I still have the little blue jay griffin.
Oh yeah, you still have little friend.
Yeah, if he said we didn't break even, I was gonna try and use that as a bargaining chip for a discount.
What, we're taking the griffin?
Yeah, we're taking the griffin off your idiot apprentice's hands. Give us a discount.
Oh no, that was already factored in.
That was probably
You guys would have had to ask for a lot more stuff before you would have started
Incurring
going
a cost.
incurring a cost. Yeah, he really wanted that stuff, and you did give him rather a lot of things, and a lot of those things were things he had a great interest in.
That worked out. Welcome to Elemental Odysseys, Gilmore.
Oh, if he becomes the Gilmore of this, I will be so happy. I'll be totally honest.
Reference my head.
It's like the favorite NPC that Matt Mercer did in Critical Role. He was described as a guy in like the wizard version of a purple tracksuit.
Yep,
He was
He
fucking
was very
amazing and
cool.
flamboyant and wonderful.
he was.
You rang. God, that was a horrible
You
Gilmore
rang.
impression. Yeah.
I love Gilmore. He was my favorite NPC, I think.
Him and Victor.
Victor was great.
Learn from my mistakes!
Don't throw off his groove!
Beware of the groove! Anywho.
Anyway,
So,
back to our game.
Yeah. So, you guys get back. You find running doggo circles around the entire bus, Jet and Celestine.
I'm also pulling out my phone, taking a picture of the cutie and sending it off to Dad. It's like, okay, found this little guy, took him off a apparently not too bright person. What do I do with him? Because he's very cute.
Also, other thing you still have to investigate was off the head cultist. You also pulled a spell book.
Oh yeah, I have that thing too.
Yeah, do you want to investigate it?
Yep. I
Roll
also need-
investigation. Actually, roll Arcana and investigation.
Arcana.
Oh yeah, between both of those. None of these are really spells you can learn except for one, and that is Find Familiar.
Oh,
And you can copy that down into your ritual book.
Okay.
it'll be something you do like over the night because it'll take you a little while.
Yep, and I've got the griffin on my lap.
Mm-hmm.
Find familiar. Basically, she can summon a familiar with that spell, or is that just finding?
Find familiar is how you get a familiar in 5e's rules.
Yeah, it's like
Okay.
familiar acquisition. Basically.
It's basically she can
'Cause, like-
she can make Frumpkin basically.
Well, that's because how find familiar works is it's basically you create a small minor entity that you can change the form of.
Okay.
And and the entity can have its own opinions and stuff, as emphasis by Caleb being like, yeah, Frumpkin likes being a cat.
Got it. But yeah, I personally don't have anything else, so I'm gonna do what I said earlier, as well as read more of my book.
Mm-hmm. I assume Lodo's also studying his book.
Yeah, I'm just gonna study my book and then after that turn in probably.
Okay. Since I assume you guys just sort of end up crashing back at Padma's house again.
Yep,
That
it
works.
makes sense. And I'm-
Yeah, like you were halfway back there, like you'd started like copying down the Find Familiar spell into your ritual book. You get a expect from your dad saying, a jade griffin like that could be used as a familiar.
Aww.
Or, simply, other things, because it won't get much, like, it's still technically, finger quotes, a kitten, but it wouldn't get much bigger than a house cat. It does, however, love its meat, though, because it is still a griffin.
That's no problem. As long as he's not fighting Jet. At least I think it's a he. He's a little bit too bright for a female.
There's, like, another thing. It's a little, like, he'll, like, let me see him when you get back, and I can tell you.
Yeah, it was like he's on my lap all asleep and purring. I don't want to lift up the tail.
But yeah, after you get back, and find places to crash, you find out, yes, your little griffin friend is indeed a boy griffin,
Yeah.
and that if you use Find Familiar, you could bind him as your familiar.
I'll sleep on it.
Mm-hmm. Or leave him with your dad to do other stuff, and then summon a different familiar because you have a list.
Yeah.
You could pick from on the Find Familiar spell, but you now have Find Familiar in your ritual book.
Yay. I guess I'll see where he wakes up where the kitty is when I wake up in the morning.
Mm-hmm. But I'll be right back real quick. I need to get some food.
Okay.
So we're gonna take a quick break.
No
You guys
problem.
want to grab foods or snacks or whatever?
Alright. While I'm studying my book, Padma, I'm going to ask you what's the deal with all the birds.
My dad actually. Well, my dad wouldn't. Yeah, words. My dad just likes them mostly. He seems to have a knack for them. According to my aunts on his side of the family, he was always surrounded by them, even when they were kids. So when he wasn't adventuring, he was an ornithologist and took care of them. So it just stuck around. And now there's always been birds whenever I was growing up.
Just basic birds? Is something more exotic?
No. We've got some of the big. We've got the big victory hawks. We've got. What all do we have? I know we have a lot, and there's been many over the years. He's rehabbed a couple of done rehabilitation for a couple of baby rock birds that were poached. I think a few exotic parrots that got busted out of a illegal ring. One time a steel owl. We have a big old steel owl back out in the rear part of the yard that we all call Grandpa because he's been there for forever. And he's also very grumpy. You might have noticed the Kinshi wandering around. The big ones that kind of look like they're basically chocobos. Just don't pet the Kinshi. They're kind of mean. And by kind of, I mean if they don't know you, they will try to bite your face.
Really noted.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure one of the Kinshi is his familiar, if he has a familiar. I think he does. And then I gesture at the little finches that like to sleep with Celestine. Those are just cute. I think he gave those to Mom as a wedding gift.
See. Another random question. What was the last thing you remember doing before we were all kidnapped?
With me, I was just lounging on the beach, really. I think I got up to go get a drink and a snack from the kiosk there, but nothing really out of the ordinary.
Strange, same with me. Well, not lounging on the beach, I was doing a rather standard beast hunting contract. And next thing I know, I wake up in a ship.
Boy.
And Loto, as we all know, was on his mission. I don't remember what that mission was.
I don't know. They're...
I'm back.
What was Loto's mission he was on? I don't remember what it was.
What mission?
Wasn't he on a mission or something when he got kidnapped?
Yeah, you're investigating the source of that. That's what led you to
Okay,
where
yeah.
you're going now.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what we're trying to find out.
Like, whatever the mission was a dud anyways. They just wanted to capture at least one paladin, and they did, and that was Skara. At least that's the way it seems.
Yeah. Because I was just discussing with Padma A, why there's so many fucking birds in her house. And B, I was trying to figure out what she was maybe doing when she got kidnapped, so I was on a standard contract. She was lounging on the beach. Strange. Yeah, that's all I did while studying my book at the same time while you were away.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm. Delicious sandwich. Mm.
Sandwich? What kind of sandwich?
Turkey and cheese.
Ooh, that is a delicious sandwich.
Mm-hmm. But yes, Tori, you there? Sounds like a no.
Wait, who?
I said Tori.
Oh.
Sorry about that, I went to go get a drink of water.
Okay.
Because I went to get up and then Jinx was asking in character questions, so I sat down.
But do you ask your dad about the little griffin?
Yeah.
You know, it's like before you go to bed, he's like poking it with like, you know, some of the veterinary tools he has for, you know, checking on the birds and stuff, and determines this little guy's technically a crossbreed.
Oh?
Yeah, the other half, it seems he's actually one of his parents was a familiar.
Huh.
So he might have actually, so the little guy might have been actively trying to seek out a mage to bond with.
Aw. Scritch, scritch.
He like purrs and like he seems very attached to you, by the way.
Well, I guess I'm not gonna try getting rid of him then.
He's cute and he scratches the little griffin. So if you want to use Find Familiar, you have a you'll have a blue jay griffin.
Sure, why not? Now I have to figure out a name.
I'm sure you can think of something. But with the the help from dear old dad, because he had materials for such a thing in case, because he has had a few mages bring in, you know, avian familiars to have them tended to. He had the materials to help you cast Find Familiar, and you do successfully bond the little blue griffin as your familiar.
Yay!
And you can now do some cool, like, scouty stuff with him.
Yay!
And also just have a friend.
Yeah.
So yeah, is that everything before everyone goes to bed?
I believe so.
All right.
At least for me, anyway.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. All right, then. Next day comes around. Everyone has all their shit back.
And obviously this is dependent on the familiar, but a familiar is basically just a companion you can have do certain things.
Yeah. Like, much like how, like, she can do the thing where, like, she sees through the familiar senses and can direct it. She can also telepathically communicate with her little friend.
Okay.
I'm going to name him Dimitri.
Dimitri the Griffin.
Yes.
Yeah, he has naturally, because he is a griffin, he can fly.
Where would I put him on the character sheet?
I don't know, but I'll think of something and add it in there for you a little later. If only so you can keep track of his stats, because he does have stats. Well, some stats. Not a lot. But he is also now, because he is your familiar, functionally immortal.
Yay! I put stuff for him in the character, the note section on the character part of the.
That works. But grab Funless's sheet real quick. But after you guys wake up, have breakfast, I assume you go back to pick up what you can pick up from Hawk.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Takes you about half hour to get over there. There was some annoying morning traffic.
Is there ETA on mine Scar's armors and stuff? That isn't
he
the
said,
stuff that
like,
isn't ready.
He said that you would take for the armor 2 days at most for both of them. Like, both together is a project that would take him 2 days.
Okay.
But upon entering, you hear, "No excuses, Patrick! Last time there was a dead squirrel floating in it!" He then shuts the door and just like, "I am a bright star surrounded by an accretion disk of cretins and ding-dongs." He just sort of shakes his head and looks at you. "Ah, Solus Va, how may Hawk serve?"
Oh, this fall.
We came to. I waved the little card around. We came to pick up the first part of the order.
Ah, yes. Please, sit on. Come over. Come. As you guys approach the counter, you see him pull out some surprisingly fancy, like, display case boxes and set them on the counter. There's one for Padma's scarf. There's one for Arvin's new rapier ? And how it looks. and then also, on like the little like jeweler stand thing, the necklace for Celestine, which like it looks it's kind of got like the claws arrangement pattern, and then like in the middle you can see that some of the other claws were turned into a medallion that bears the holy symbol of Vernai on it.
Nice.
I grabbed that for Celestine, assuming he's on the bus again.
Yeah, he's waiting on the bus. The Padma's scarf comes with it has like these little things that look slightly similar to little like metal hoops Olivia has in Awakening.
Yes.
It's like those but smaller.
Ooh.
And the scarf has this interesting, between those being those golden hoops, and also there's like almost like gold woven into parts of the scarf now.
Ooh.
And near like where the blades would be, it's this, the horns have clearly been turned into, on each side, 3 short, almost claw looking blades, and give it a very like dark metal cutting edge, contrasting with the blue and gold of the rest of the fabrics and its little embellishments.
Nice.
Is Hawk's work to your liking?
Yes, very much so.
Let me just edit your scarf really quick to show you what it can do now.
Okay.
Because, well, for starters, it does more damage.
Yay.
For starters.
I opened her damn character sheet. Fucking thing.
And you all wanted to just pawn this shit off.
I'm not touching it, so.
Okay. Oh, no. Gotta follow up the thing for it, because I had a specific enchantment in mind. I gotta find the magic enchantment lists on this damn wiki, because I forgot I hadn't quite pulled that far ahead like an idiot.
So what's your idiot doing this time?
He was making breakfast. Don't. Just.
Apparently breakfast involves dead squirrels. He really is an idiot.
No. He. Bless his simple mind and stout heart. He tries his best, but culinary arts are not his forte. He is passable with metallurgy and forging and tools that involve decent, strength. He sort of flexes his arm, but delicate things, leathers, weavings, cooking. Oy. Just. Okay, I have it now. Okay. That's the thing.
Yeah, that was in fact one of the questions Jinx was asking in character was, what's with all the birds? So I spat out steel owls are a thing, like owls made out of steel.
Oh, yeah, no, absolutely. They exist.
There's one in the house called Grandpa. He's old and very cranky.
You also notice, as you inspect the scarf, the patterns made with the golden filigree and also slightly engraved on the blades themselves are arcane runes.
I don't know if you're done editing or not. So
I'm almost done. I gotta.
Would I recognize the runes at all?
Just that they're arcane runes.
Okay.
Go lay down! Go! I have no more pizza, Mocha. Go lay down! She was mooching on me earlier.
But you now have Tori a bladed scarf of the Arcanist +1, which it deals a D8 damage, and it's a finesse weapon. Should be working off your dex, you stupid thing. Don't lie to me. So it has a +1 to hit, +1 to damage, and it also adds a +1 bonus to spell attack rolls you make,
Fun.
as long as you're wielding it.
Nice.
And if you upgrade the plus on this thing to like a +2 or +3, that same bonus applies to your to hit with spell attack rolls.
Okay.
So if you further improve it later, you know, you have a pretty boss weapon now.
Yay.
It's also very fancy.
And you wanted to pawn all the materials off.
But yeah, now I'm done with your sheet,
Okay.
so you can mess with it or whatever.
I wasn't doing anything, so.
Okay. Arvin, I need to edit his, or I'll edit his slowly.
I also had the ankle things.
Oh yeah, those are mostly just accessories.
Okay.
But you now have, you know, fancy. They can be anklets, they can be bracelets, they could be however you want to use them.
Probably anklets, that way I can kick at people.
Well, that would still be an unarmed strike, and these wouldn't really add to your damage with that.
Alright.
No, but they'll sting a little bit, because metal. Maybe.
Maybe not. But yes, as you see Arvin take a, you know, it's considerably more, you know, stylish than like the one he had before, which was more just a basic sword. He like picks it up. There's a few like little deft swings. Holds it upside down in his hand, like looks at the arcane, the runes inscribed upon the blade. This is very nice. Like I say, Hawk do very good work. But you and you, he points to Zakio and Skara.
Mm-hmm.
It would seem I have made better progress than I thought. The armors you have requested will be done tomorrow.
Fantastic.
If they're done before then, do any of you have a comm I can contact with?
Yeah, sure. My family actually lives in the area too. You've done work with for my uncle Aiden, actually.
Aiden. Oh, tall man, red hair, draconic eyes.
Yes.
Very jovial. Ah, yes, I know him. I know of him. And your family is from here? Where do they live? I might have them on record.
We're the bigger ranch out near the outskirts of town, the birdhouse.
Ah! Yes, I have helped with him before. Yes, I know the place. I will contact them if the armor is done before tomorrow.
All right.
So if you guys want to wait one more day and pick up your new armor before you go off to this adventures in the ruins, you can.
I mean, it would be smart.
Do that, yeah. Probably just
Okay.
spend the day studying my book.
Relaxing.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, same.
Well, fortunately, you don't even have to wait the whole day. By like about an hour or two after lunch, you get a call, and yeah, the armors are done.
Yes. Armors.
So you go back to pick them up.
Yes.
This time, when you come in, he's not yelling at Patrick about anything. He actually seems like he's in a very good mood. As you see, like, two stands, like, next to his in front of the counter, like, just waiting for you guys, and he looks, like, standing with his arms crossed, very proud smirk on his face. Ah, it's always good when Hawk make miracles of steel.
Indeed.
See, I gave myself too little credit. Thought those scales were difficult to work with. I discovered a way to expedite process without sacrificing quality.
Oh, I appreciate your look. I'm just inspecting my armor with
I
a
think
little
it's
bit of
covered.
with a little bit of
Oh no, the stands are like visible. You can see the armor as you walked in.
yeah. I'm just inspecting it a little more closely. A little bit of awe in my eyes at how eccentric and beautiful that it probably looks.
It's not as similar from the base plate you have. There's just because there's still scales. You can see like the draconic scaling pattern on it in places where clearly the scales have been, pressed and melded into the armor.
Right.
And if you try to pick it up, it feels lighter than the one you're wearing.
Wow.
Me thrilled.
Well, dragon scales.
Yep.
Dragon scales and a really good blacksmith. I see you admire the work.
I always keep a good eye out for high quality. Wow, I wish I'd discovered you sooner.
Well, you're wise to think these things, my young friend. And what of you? He gestures to Scar because your armor is also on display.
It looks very functional, sturdy.
And that it does. It's again, it looks similar to yours, but it's again got like there's draconic scaling, and also you see in a few places that match where they are on your current armor, the sigil of Fendris. He went the extra mile to put your holy symbol upon it.
Nice.
It even stands out in a metallic reddish tint amongst like the predominantly gunmetal gray scales and the silver of like the actual regular metal.
Nice.
But the armor you both have gotten, whatever the AC of your like the actual item itself AC is, which I think for your armor Lodo is an 18 before like your your bonuses.
Yeah, it should be, I think.
Yeah, you can increase those by 1. So your plate mail has a base AC of 19, and your breastplate has a base AC of 17.
Nice.
And they're still +1 armors.
Sweet.
Mm-hmm.
Can I don't know, give him the armor I have then, since I can't really use 2 full plate armors?
Oh yeah, do you like go back to the bus, like change and bring the old stuff back?
I do the same.
Oh, he readily says, generous donations of steel, good. And as they've served you well enough, we'll not let Patrick use the pass this on. Give them more respect than that.
That's good to know. And just for flavor-wise, this is like dragon breastplate or dragon something or other.
This is dragon steel. It would be dragon steel, whatever it is. So dragon steel plate and dragon steel breastplate.
Gotcha.
Also, Fenless had come in this time, and he offloads this curious set of armor he had that you realize he had traded out for the Winter's Breath after he got it. It looks like a tunic actually made of leaves, but you look at the leaves, they're literally they look like they're made of metal, or at least have a metallic sheen to them.
Druids.
To which he says, Iron Leaf. Ooh. You're willing to part with this? Mm-hmm. Just like a reimbursement. Oh, absolutely, certainly. And he gives Fenlis some gold for it.
Nice.
A decently sized amount of gold at that. And he no longer has this armor.
First
And he has
steel
gone up
dragon
by a total of... He forgot to add his other gold to the thing, so he should be at about this much now. There we go. Fenless has some monies.
Money.
But yeah, you guys have your dragon, your steel scale armor, the replacement weapons, and all that jazz, and you still have time to, if you want to get on the road, you can start heading out that direction towards the ruins.
Yeah.
Yeah, so what we ought to, yeah.
All right. After you tell everyone you're heading out, get all the things taken care of, get your shit, fuel back up the party bus.
Yep.
Bob,
Pick
how
up
much
snack,
longer do we
whatever.
have on our books, by the way?
I'm looking at the travel time it's gonna take there. You guys will probably finish and get your bonuses from those books on the way to the place.
Okay. And I forgot what my bonus was. I know you said it before, but
When you finish reading the book, you'll be able to add your casting modifier to damage with your cantrips. So basically just Eldritch Blast. Because that's
What?
your only cantrip that does damage, right?
Assuming Replica Rush doesn't count because it comes from the weapon.
Yeah, no, that's I just listed their cantrips because it doesn't technically
Right.
limited by the item, and that's the only place I knew to list spells, so I just put it there.
Right, that's fine. I have one other one that's poison spray, but
Well, yeah, you'd be able to add your wisdom modifier to damage rolls with those when you're done, and then when Lodo's done with his, he'll be able to do as a single attack action, just attack everyone directly around him. We'll just be able to spin to win, kids. Have fun. Quiet here.
Yeah. I'm gonna study my book on the way, so I'll have that bonus when we get there.
Okay. So, you guys are on the road for a while.
I was
playing-
playing / bonding with Dimitri to figure out how the Griffin works.
Mm.
And to keep him occupied because I don't know how well he's going to get along yet.
There's no like bark angriness out of the dog, so Jet seems pretty cool with it.
Yay!
There's also like before you go to bed that night, you do find Dimitri has perched himself upon Jet's head, and they're both asleep.
Aww.
His other favorite spot is to sit on top of Celestine's head.
Yay!
Friend. Also, Celestine thought his necklace was super dope.
Yay!
Chill.
But so you guys start heading off, and you get that far, okay. Before you camp for the night, nothing fortunately happens. And since, well, you guys can lock down the party bus, unless something really big comes a knocking, no matter what the hell I roll for encounters tonight.
Yep.
You got alarms, you got armor plating. Let me see. At some point in the night, you hear one of you, probably Zakio, hears like what sounds like some scratching on like a wall or something, but then after about a few minutes, it fades. Whatever was clawing at the door was not able to get through.
Any chance I can check out what it was just to see what it was? In some way, shape, or form?
Roll perception.
Perception. 20.
It appeared to have been like some kind of large cat.
Okay.
Like puma or something. Puma, jaguar, mountain lion, whatever. It just saw this curious thing. Scratch, scratch, scratch. Nothing happened. It left.
Okay. I was just curious.
Mm-hmm. Next day on the road, you guys get here about halfway through the day. And and you guys are still like when you have the chance studying your books along the way of the trip, right?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay. Uh,
I already edited my sheet to have that modifier in there, so.
yeah.
So you don't have to do
Yeah,
it.
it just like you would list this actual ability under like your traits as like Volsung Mage Combat Magic, like the official thing that gives you this that ability to do that.
Volsung Combat Magic.
And then just it just adds your casting modifier to cantrip damage. And wow, really with these rolls on this fucking table. Why you gotta do this to me? You guys make it the whole day completely unmolested by anything that might try to eat you.
To the DM's frustration.
I mean, it's boring! At least... Oh. You do, however, come to a stop at one point because it looks like a rather large tree has just fallen in the path of like the road. And like Celestine like walks up to the front of us to see what's going on. He's like, let me see if I can. And as he like goes for the door, the tree moves.
Whoa.
Trade.
It the
How
tree
does
moves.
The tree move?
I'm
Like, it
getting
just-
there.
oh.
I'm getting there.
Okay.
It turns out it is not actually a tree. That is a nature dragon.
Oh.
Oh dear.
It looks like it's just covered in tree bark as it was apparently asleep on the road.
Probably sunbathing.
So like in the middle of the road, and then it looks up, like sees you, tilts his head, and then like you see it like kind of sniff the air, and then look around. It looks roll whoever's looking at the dragon, roll me an insight check.
Okay. Where is it? There it is. 22.
I don't have very good insight, but I'll try.
It's a big ass dragon.
Let's
let's see Fenless. Oh, Fenless knows.
I kind of have an idea. Fenless knows exactly what's going on.
Yeah, you and him, you and Zakio and Fenless both see this. This dragon, it looks ashamed and embarrassed as it like sort of like backs up and slinks off the road and then disappears into the forest.
Aww.
He must have been really tired and just passed out in the road. Like while going back to his nest or something. Its nest, who knows. But there was a
I am so sorry. It's like I'm imagining it just going.
You were just taking pictures of a nature dragon the whole time, just like dragon.
I swear, I'm like half bard, half tourist, but then at the same time that makes sense.
Hey man, you get to see some cool shit when you're an adventurer.
Yep.
As we drive past it, I assume in Draconic, I just shout, "Don't worry, buddy, it happens to the best of us."
You just hear this disgruntled grump. You just hear this like faint disgruntled roar in the back as in response. It's not like actual words. It's just like a groan or roar, and it's not actually like giving you the dignity of response. It just like disappears further into the jungle.
It's just.
I assume he was embarrassed by the fact that he was asleep in the middle of the road.
Yeah, no, he's like, the response to you sounds like it's too early in the morning for the shit. I haven't had my coffee yet.
Booty call too strong. Well, I mean, when nature calls, I'll show
Giggity.
myself out.
This is gonna take us the rest of the day to get where we're going.
You almost you're almost there by the end of the day, and as you guys are finishing up, like winding down for bed, finishing the last of your book, you guys now have your 2 abilities out of them.
We
Cool.
So Lodo now has his
Spin to win.
yeah, he has effectively Quietus now. He can do that as an ability. Because he seems to be prone to attracting a lot of friends, I've noticed.
I mean, he can survive having a lot of friends, so there's that in his favor.
His AC's fucking stupid.
which is
Then he goes.
which is kind of ironic because out of character, I know Celestine wanted to be that guy.
Well, it never hurts to have 2.
Yeah.
That's true.
Two walls.
Also, taking styles are kind of different too.
Yeah,
It's much more mobile.
yeah, you're like... Scar hold the line. Scar is more hold the line. Celestine is more Fellcleave.
Yeah.
Cleve City, bitch.
Mm-hmm.
Muffled buzzsaw noises.
Yep.
And you said we were there at the evening,
No.
or just about. Sorry.
You'll be there. You'll reach the place sometime tomorrow.
Okay.
But you guys finished reading your book, so Scar, Lodo, just do me a favor and mark somewhere on your sheet, like under like traits or feats, that you have the ability to do a attack to anything around you.
Yep, I just called it like Whirling Blade or something like that.
Perfect. Okay. Let me just make this real quick. Put that there. Thank you. But
Victor?
really, again? This is it keeps happening. Why? Why you do?
Booting you?
Why you do?
No, he's getting bad rolls on encounter table.
Oh, that's wow. Okay, Gara, as you're driving along, you see something in the distance, and you're like, "What in the fuck is? That looks like an ambush," and you just floor it. And like you see some dudes jump out, and there's just as you just keep going. They crit failed. Because you did have an encounter. I rolled for how well it went for their execution of their plan, and the result was not well. You flattened like 3 of them, and just kept going.
Sounds true. We are in a APC, so
Yeah, it's literally at this point like it is like a bus, but it's like heavily armored. It's like if you took an APC and shaped it into a bus. So like this guy, like there's like before you heard the thud, you saw like 2 or 3 shapes like jump in front of you, and then just boom, and just kept going.
You suck at ambushes.
You say that out the window.
Yeah.
What's your armor class now?
17.
With the new armor?
Yeah. I had 16 before.
No, I meant the armor class on your armor.
what?
Oh,
Hold on a second. I need one second. I need to look at your sheets to make sure you haven't done something wrong because I am bad at words.
Yeah, if it's half plate, it should be higher than that. What kind of armor is it? Half plate?
He has a breastplate. Hold on, let me look at your thing.
It was 16 before, and you said it went up 1. The base was like 14.
Oh, I thought the
a
base was higher than that.
No.
Okay, never mind then. Well, fortunately for you, he would have hit your old AC, but a bullet does whiz past your ear.
I lean out the other window. You're aiming much better!
And then they're too far away, and you just hear some like gunfire and like cling, cling, cling off the bus.
What?
You see Fenlis stick his hand out the window. Oh, shut up! And just throw something back there, and then you hear a small explosion.
Alchemist fire.
Yeah, there, he just threw a vial of alchemist fire back at them.
That sounds in character for Darian the Judge.
Just swing. Shut up.
Yep.
You guys just had a drive-by counter mugging. Oh, I love the dice sometimes.
That was hilarious.
Oh yeah. But yeah, near the it's like around 1 when you guys start closing in on where the ruins were said to be, and you know you're in the right place because as you start getting closer, you see a little ways clearly like a defensive line set up by like, you know, a couple little camps. There's some like actual like heavy military hardware there, or at the very least like some SWAT stuff. There's a bunch of dudes, and like they see like a few of them see your bus roll up, and like you see 2. Clearly, one's a paladin of Fendris, the other's a paladin of Soraya, and they're like talking to each other, and then they like hold up their hands for you to like stop.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and stop, and then I'll. Does this thing have windows that roll down, or?
Yeah, you would have to, or else it wouldn't have been able to throw that alchemist fire at it and yell back at.
So I'll roll down the window and I'll greet them.
Yeah, just pull over here, and they sort of flag you off to a spot where there's a few other vehicles parked.
Oh.
You can, as you're pulling in, you see like one guy on like what looks like a water cannon. He was just sort of like leaning on it, and he's like watching you. Like you see one hand, because he's like resting his chin on his hands, and one of his hands slips out from under, and you're pretty sure he just grabs like the controls for the water cannon he's on, in case he needs them.
Okay.
But two paladins who approach you are both ladies. In fact, actually, my mistake. One is a...
They're probably in full plate armor, so...
No, they both have their helmets off. But like you can, like the facial features stuff, definitely ladies, because neither one's an elf. One is a Earth Ganassi, the other is a Zal.
Robot lady.
Yeah, like definitively, it looks more like, you know, those androids that look human, kind of. But you can tell like there's like seams like, you know, for where pieces can be removed.
Okay.
And unsurprisingly, like does have what passes as like synthetic hair. You know, keep the look. You figure she's one of those ones who likes the appearance of humans. There's like this weird like subculture in the Zal. There's some who do weird shit. But
robot furries.
Kind of. Well, they're actually, yeah, there are robots who like take forms that look like Celestine too, but still be obviously robots. But anyways, the Ganassi lady, who's the she's the Fenris paladin. Who are you lot?
I'm Scar with the Order of Fendris, and this is my group. We're here to investigate these ruins. Here's my credentials from Captain Cyrus Brimstone.
At the name, like her eyebrow like arches, she takes it from you, slots a little card into hands it to her companion who takes it, slots into a PDA. Her eyes are like scanning it rapidly. Checks out. All right, come on out.
All right.
The moment the door opens, Jet bolts out and just runs up to the Zal Paladin lady, who just starts and just like gets distracted, kneels down and starts petting the puppy.
Aw.
Is Jet a familiar or an animal companion to
He's just a
somebody,
pet.
and we just haven't figured that out yet?
He's just a dog who you guys haven't gotten rid of. Like, you found him on that airship and he's just been with you ever since.
I think Celestine would be sad if we got rid of his friend at this point. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
But after a moment, actually, the other paladin is looking at her companion like, what? She looks a little annoyed. We're on the clock here. And like you hear like, I'm sorry, it's just she's like roughly dog. I haven't seen. Where have you been?
Is this her dog?
Yeah, this is my Jet. It's my little Jet. She's scratching him behind the ear.
Oh.
How did he get on a shipping crate with you guys?
That's a good question.
There's a pause, and the paladin like she just stops, and like slowly you like and almost actually kind of hear like some servos, whereas her head slowly looks at you. He was where?
I just
We
look at
had
like
found
Owen.
him on the airship with us.
Celestine at this point chimes in. He was in a traveling crate, and we found him on a ship that had us in it. It crashed, and like bad shit's happened since then. And she like squints at Celestine, and then like looks down at her dog. You telling the truth? The dog actually like shakes his head and barks. Okay. And she's giving you guys like a wary look, but she's like still fussing with her dog now. The Ganassi lady like, don't mind Vela. Come with me.
Understandable, it's her pet.
It is, but just come on. And she leads you guys to a bit closer now that like leads you up to like one of the like tents where some other like, you know, scholarly magey types, and a few more paladins are, you know, like milling about doing things. And she sorry, sandwich called to me. Oh.
You can't resist the call of the sandwich.
Listen, I'm fucking hungry.
Like I said, you can't resist the call of the sandwich.
No, I can't. Oh yeah, also your bus token should be down here. Boop.
Boop, boop, beep, boop.
But she leads you through the whole tent, and on the far side of it, she like points out. So those are the trifecta ruins, as we've taken to calling them for now. Though there have been a few. No, that's only the working name. Some others are pushing for some other various ones. It's not often that ruins go undiscovered for so long. So, well, she like looks over, and you can like she looks over at like one tent in particular, and just like sort of some more excitedly than others.
Is there anything on the tent she looks at, like to indicate?
No,
that
it's
they
just
are?
another tent.
Oh, it's
If
just
you like
another
kind of listen, you can hear like some like, except like, for science voiced dudes. It sounds like yelling about things, but it's just a cacophony of insanity.
Okay.
It's just like loud science and such, like exclamations. It's all very like chewing the scenery. If this was a movie, these guys would be made of ham.
Jeez.
Don't mind them. They're
They get, as I say, from my understanding, they get that way.
yeah, some of the academies. Anyways, I assume Captain Cyrus brought you mostly up to speed on the situation for why we're out here. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, nothing has really changed since we established perimeter. There was a perimeter breach 2 nights ago.
By what?
And we don't know. It got through.
Well.
Was it coming in or leaving?
Going in.
So that means there's something else in there for sure then.
We don't know.
It wasn't particularly large. It was roughly she like looks between all of you and then sort of roughly about like you, and she gestures towards Zakio. A little bit, maybe your size, maybe a little bit taller. So it's decidedly at least humanoid in shape or stature.
Hmm.
So roughly my size and build, maybe taller.
Yeah.
Okay.
At least height-wise. The build, they're not sure, but at least height-wise, it's about as tall as you.
Okay.
It showed up on a few of some of the arcane tracking countermeasures we had, and managed to evade even them. It would show up for a moment and then disappear. The last time it appeared, it was on the inside of the perimeter and making its way in, and then it disappeared again.
Huh.
We assume it's some manner of treasure hunting mage. Given, well, they were clearly using an invisibility spell to try to slip past us. Or they might have been using some other spell that disrupts such things. I'm not an expert. But just be careful. There is at least one other thing intelligent in there, and it might not be friendly to you. Or it could simply be some patsy for some bigger person, or I don't know. Honestly, I hope you find whoever it is smattered against the wall in like 15 traps. Because, well, that's what he should get for sticking his nose in something he shouldn't be sticking it in.
Well then, I guess we all get to work.
Indeed.
Has any recon been done on the inside of the ruins yet?
She shakes her head. No, it's all been mapping the surface layers. Oh well, at least the direct vicinity. We were going to push in after, well, the team we were told would be going in. Well, they cleared the way, just in case.
That would be us then, I assume.
Most likely.
Indeed.
She then, like, looks at Arvin like, wait a... Then she pulls out something and, like, looks... Aren't you one of the missing persons who was reported going here? And Arvin, like, sort of... Yes, It got way more complicated. I don't remember anything beyond leaving these ruins that morning. And then waking up on, as I later discovered, Rillicert with some strange arcane bracer on my wrist. That was he like sounds really, really like, as he's talking. That was
let's not
fun
fucking
few
talk
days.
about this.
So let's just leave it at that. She's like, Yeah. So, definitely be careful then if they've done something horrible to you before. Will do. Then, all right, you see her go on a come. All right, Lieutenant Scar's team is here. They're going in.
Excuse
All
me.
right, the guards posted by the main entrance will let you pass now. Good hunting.
Thank you.
And she walks past as I assume you guys start heading towards the ruins.
Yep.
Yes.
And actually, on that note, we'll call it here. Kind of short, but then we're down like half the party.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't want to go into like crazy shit happening with like me having to autopilot like 4 people.
Yeah.
That's a bit much.
Yeah. So you guys have reached the Trifecta Ruins, and next time we'll get to delve into the depths and see what lies within for our merry band of misfits.
Really should figure out what to call themselves, but
You can figure it out.
Do most adventuring parties have a team name?
Well, I mean, it can happen, like, because like there are like your finger quotes adventures, but that also can double as just like a group of freelance mercenaries. But like the way the settings work, so you guys would like have a name just for this ease of reference rather than those, because those guys.
Well, didn't a lot of the party join Dragon's Roar or whatever?
No one joined Dragon's Roar.
I basically became a preferred freelance agent.
Gotcha.
Well, you guys are like on their preferred list for freelancer contacts for potential contracts. Like if they need more manpower, they could like call you up like, hey, you want to get a cut of this take and help us out here because we're kind of short staffed, like those kind of situations. So you guys could get called in by Dragon War for like effectively side quests
Makes
or the main
sense.
plot. You don't know.
Yep.
I wanted to join, but I didn't end up joining.
Yeah.
Just because of all this craziness.
Yeah. So if you guys want to come up with an adventuring party name for yourselves, feel free.
Yeah, I'm not real big on party names, but I mean, if you guys want to, sure.
it's fully for ease of access in universe, so.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's mainly what it's there for.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'll be right back. I'm gonna close out my stream.
Okay.
So I got a question.
Alright guys, thank you so much for watching this evening. I apologize for not having any raid content. Some of our members did have some scheduling issues this weekend, so we will not be raiding. I probably will still be streaming tomorrow because I believe we have planned with the people that will be around tomorrow. We'll be doing some maps, earning some money that way. So I'll probably stream that. Also, this coming Monday, I have joined another D&D group, and we will be doing a Wizards of the Coast official campaign called, hang on, let me find the name here. Find the name, I promise. Pull it up here. It will be The Lost Mine of Phandelver. That will be the campaign that will be starting Monday at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So until tomorrow, guys, peace.